I think I grossly overestimated my abilities here. So we might be in for a long one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm struggling. And I may forget some stuff. But before we get started, why don't you go ahead and drop any questions in the live Q&A. Go ahead and feel free to razz me because this ended up being way more of an undertaking. Mostly because I was brazen enough to think I could do the alt modes for all the vehicles and then get them all into the flight stand mode and then get them into combined mode. So we're gonna see. I think I'm gonna struggle. But here is the combiner portion of Ethereaon that comes with Jester. We showed this off a little bit yesterday. Again, in the packaging itself, here are the cards. We showed these yesterday, so we won't belabor that. Does come with instructions. The instructions are pretty hard to follow in some places, and other places they just seem to just skip a bunch of steps. And in particular, I felt like the flight stand ones are not that good. The online video instructions are pretty good, but these are like very not great, and the directions on how to attach them to the we're gonna get to that, attach them to the stands is quite comical. The only other stuff that we get are these fists that come with Jester's robot mode box. So let me get those, and we kind of showed these off. So how we're gonna do this, and again, this might be ending up being like a 2-hour video, is we're gonna start off out of packaging. We're gonna go into flight stand mode for all these pieces because I spent many an hours getting these figures into alt mode, and I'm now worried I'm not going to be able to get them into combined mode because I got them in from robot mode last time. But we're gonna try it, and then we'll finish off in combined mode. So here's the gun. First things first, you can make it like a normal gun. The optional thing here for like the toy mode, you can open this up, slot this in, close it up, and bring down the handle, and then you have his alt mode, his gun mode for the toy. We'll get out. This should be his right foot. This should be his left foot. We'll get his accessories out. He's got, as we showed last time, 3 alternate faces for his toy mode. Since his toy mode, let me make sure I don't lose all these baggies. Since his toy mode does have a face as opposed to the cartoon mode, which has the face mask. And lastly, he has an alternate set of antenna, which are painted gold as opposed to gold plated for his helmet. So getting his chest out like this, let's see if we can get started first. Does it make sense to do a comparison of all the alt modes? I have them here. Let's just keep going. Hey, Anthony Brown. Hey, Ridiculous, Wild Bill, I Still Function, Jay Stabler, and so forth. No, the gun is not metal. Hey, David Llewellyn. Scott Gomez. Hey, Scott. And some other folks. Alex B. Wow, we got a lot of folks in here. So I'm going to... I feel like the last time I've been this embarrassed to do a review was the one when I did the reissue of Coot, and I tried to transform it from memory, and I failed miserably. So that kind of gives you how much confidence I have. I'm basically feeling like I'm doing this blind. All right, so... I do kind of want to show off all of the alt modes next to each other, but I guess we'll do that later. So we'll show off some of the faces just because I want to get them out of the way. He has kind of a smiley face. He has a grimacing, growly, angry face. And then he has a screaming face. This is all in addition to the stock face that he has, which we'll take a look at. He does have, like I said, both animation and our cartoon and toy modes. So first thing we'll do is actually let's just transform the feet. And I kind of want to show off the articulation on the feet here first because it's a little bit easier to do because all combined, this guy's about 10 pounds, over 10 pounds, which is not easy to handle and articulate. So I kind of want to show off some of the articulation that I can here. So he does have die cast along the bottom here. These sections, this section, the front and the rear section are die cast to give it some stability. I think that's and the front toe. The front toe is all die cast. It is nicely painted, nice and cool. So it tries to give it some stability, but it also gives it a ton of weight. All right, so he does have some toe up. It goes about here. Doesn't really have any toe down. Oh, thanks, Ridiculous. I appreciate a patchy comparison. Turning into Anthony Brown here. He does have ankle tilt, so since this is his right foot, he should have ankle tilt like so. He also has a little bit of toe stretch here, but I actually don't remember if you can actually use this because of all the kibble on the back of the calves. I don't know that you can actually use this, so we'll see when we get there. I actually don't remember, and even this, the ankle tilt is probably not as functional as it looks here. It kind of runs into stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But to get it into combined mode, the first thing we do is come to the bottom. They even have helpful arrows here that says come out this way. You have this little tab. They all connect together. It's very hard to get out. I'm going to use a spudger to get mine, but you can push on the bottom of this to try to get it out. It's just very difficult to do. Oh, I just pushed it in. Let's see if I can do a better job. Oh, and again, this thing is covered in mold release gel or grease. I thought I got most of it yesterday, and see, now I can't even push this out. Ow, it's very tightly pinned. And there's no other way to really get to it. Do I have a little hooky thing? I think I might have a little hooky thing. All right, I don't recommend you do this, but because I'm kind of desperate here, and I don't want this to go on forever, I'm trying to do a little hooky thing. But even this is not really working out all that well. We're off to a great start. So that's already a frustration. I can't get underneath it. All right, well, we'll just come back to this one. Next thing we'll do is pull it out on the side like this, and then you flip these around on these double hinges to get them flat like that. You're going to pull up on kind of this, what we call the tilt. Once you get it up to here, you want to extend all the way up. You're going to pull this piece all the way down. There's a tab that locks it in here. You want to flip this all the way up. That pulls out this section, and you want to close this up. And that's essentially one flight stand. Let's see if I can do anything about this. I really don't want to mess up the paint on this. All right, well, and I ended up having to scratch it a little bit, but this thing will lock into the other ones. They all combined. So just to be clear, this actually will flip around this way, and the rear heel section will be facing forward for combined. So this is actually going to the far right on this view, but the far left in terms if you were facing forward. So we're going to do the same thing here. Essentially the same thing. Hopefully not run into the same issues with the toe piece. This one I had a little bit started. So this one, oh no, I pushed it back in. No. Oh, okay. All right, got it. This is going to be the worst day of my life. Pull this out. As you can see, there are not a lot of nice surface details on the bottom here. They did add a lot of die cast, but again, it would be nice maybe if they added a little bit of foam or something like that, or rubber to get more grip here. But they have a lot of nice details on the feet. All right, so we're gonna extend this up, and then the telescoping joint here. We're gonna flip this down. We're gonna rock this forward to release this piece, fold this in, and you got this flight stand. So that's second. And now to get the other 3, let's move these out of the way for a bit. And we won't need this until we do combine mode. So let's, just drop it on the ground and potentially lose it. That's just how I do. All right, so now to get the other 3 pieces of the flight stand, you have to disassemble the legs, essentially. So you want to kind of, here, it'll be easier to show. You actually have to open this up for the flight stand anyway, but you want to get the legs out a little bit. And the reason you do that is really just for clearance purposes. So when you open up these thighs, both sides of the thighs have to open up. Ow. And this one will flip down. Same thing on the other side. Also, this figure made me bleed. Seems like all Fans Toys figures make me bleed. Ow! See, I should have spread the legs a little bit more so that I get a little bit more clearance here. I definitely don't want to... My left thigh is super tight. Oh. The right one is not too bad, but the left one is horribly tight. So once you have this all open, you can pull this forward, and then you have the mushroom peg that you just need to slide out. So you got one leg here. In terms of how to transform this thing, you're going to bring this knee joint down flat. You want to push this piece. This is kind of like the joint cover. Sorry, am I a little high here? This is kind of like the joint cover. If you have it up, you're going to all see what's going on with the knee. But you want to push this down and get this through here. Oops. Come on. What's going on? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, sorry, I had to open this up. Sorry, you have to open up this front piece so you don't interfere with that. My bad. So you want to get the knee basically completely at 90 degrees if it were open. You want to close this up. This piece will come down, and you see this slot here. This will come around underneath. Slide into it. Oops, this should be down a little bit more. Like so. Should be working. Or did I forget something? I don't think so. Oh, this piece wasn't pushed all the way down. That's why, to support it. All right, like so. These pieces just stay out like we did. Bring this piece up. This inner piece here will come out. Come on. And then there's another inner piece that will come up like that. And that's it for this flight stand. I forget which side this one goes on. I think this one goes over here. And this tab, this rear tab on the thigh, I believe it goes on this one. It might be on the other side, but frankly, it doesn't matter. They can go on either side unless you're an order freak. All right, same thing on this side. Oh, I did want to show off the articulation again, just because combined mode makes it very, very difficult to show that off because it's so hefty. But you can hear that he does have ratchets that go 90 degrees forwards, hip skirts that go forward 90 degrees to the side. It doesn't go to the back because it's all connected to the back, but it does go about this far backwards on the thigh. On the side, it goes out 90 degrees. And again, we'll show this off, but I just wanted to at least show off that articulation. And then he has a thigh swivel that goes out about 90 degrees here and goes in just a tiny bit. All right, so let's repeat what we did before on this side. Let's get these hip skirts tab back in. Okay, so spread the leg out to give you enough clearance to open up the inner thigh. I should not have cut my fingernails recently. It's making it way harder. And the grease is not helping. Oh, shoot. All right, so once you have these open, flip these inner pieces down. You can pull this forward. And then again, you have the mushroom peg for the thigh. You just kind of have to give it a wiggle, slide it out like so. And then we're going to rinse and repeat what we did last time. We're going to pull this down. Pull this all the way down. Close this up and tab it in like that. This piece, oh no, you just leave it folded up. All right. This piece will pull up. Oh, sorry, I think I missed one small piece here on the last one. You do need to pull up this tab to lock it in there. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's one piece here that tabs into the bottom. You can see it kind of angles forward here. Put that tab back in. This one will get tabbed in here. Again, you can tab it to either of the tabs, but I think officially you need to go to the rear. All right, now we're at the harder part, which is the chest. There's some complications going on here. And again, if your thighs are as tight as mine, you might have some issues. So the first thing we'll do is kind of open up the chest area here. So you need to pull up forward the animation piece. This is actually a tabbed in piece. It actually comes off quite easily by itself. Want to, like I just said, pull forward on the chest. These pieces are removable for cartoon mode. These are only really needed for combined toy mode, but you want to slide them out, flip it around 180, and then slide them forward for base mode or whatever you want to call this mode. You want to lift up on these tabs on the back. That releases the locking mechanism here. And then you can pull out to the side. Coming to the back, you can see his face and his nice gold ears here. You want to flip these pieces out, flip this flat. And what you're going to do is essentially straighten this out, and you're going to fold this in and then make sure that these antennae go into this gap here. And this tab will go into this white section. So we're going to do all that. Just be careful. Don't get it caught on the back section here. You want to get into this big triangular looking space here. Push in to tab that in. And you want to close up these tabs. They lock in right around here. These are also die cast, these tiny little tabs. All right. The next thing we're going to do is, while we're here, rotate the waist 180. You can hear the waist joint. Oh, he also has ab crunch, which is ratcheted. I actually wish they were a little bit tighter, to be honest, but it's fine. Once we're here, we're going to pull out the tabs that were holding the front skirt together. It was like this. You want to pull it out to the side, rotate, and then bring it down like this. Oh, oops, wait, sorry. Did I rotate it twice? Yeah, sorry. This was supposed to be towards the front. So it was originally towards the rear, I think, unless I had put it on backwards, which I might have when I put it back into the box. And you want to come down and rest it like so. Yeah, I think I probably did that by accident because they look pretty similar. But you want to get that down like this. This was supposed to stay in here. If it was still in there, you can just clear it and just get it kind of sunk underneath. There's no real tabbing or anything like that for any of these. They just kind of sit the way they do. These pieces come out to the side. And then these shoulder ratchet pieces come all the way down 90 degrees. And the reason why you need this is because of this tiny little slot here, which attaches to, where is it? Oh, I have these backwards. Sorry. The yellow pieces are supposed to be on the outside. They attach to these tiny little slots here on both sides. So this one you'll see tabs in here. I don't even know if I'm on frame right now because I'm standing up in front of the camera. And then this one here will tap into this side. Oh, before I do that, I forgot. One small detail is that you can store the fists optionally in here. So to do that, when you get these out of the box, you want to rotate 180. I don't actually know exactly how these are supposed to stay in. They stay in very loosely for me, but when you go underneath, just make sure the fists are kind of curled up like a regular fist as you would expect. And you're supposed to slot them in here. This long kind of tabby piece has a cutout here, and that seems to be the main friction point that's supposed to hold it in. But there, as far as I can tell, no other points that actually hold this in. I could be 100% wrong, but the instructions don't really tell you anything about that. And the instructions don't, the paper instructions don't even tell you to rotate the wrist around. It's just kind of obvious based on the cutout. But when I was doing this, I was trying to experiment with like how to keep this in. And the right fist seems to stay a little bit better than the left, but I don't know what's going on. From the video, it looks like what they do to kind of cheat it is to rotate these shoulder pieces down to kind of keep them from falling out. I don't know if that's right. If you have a better idea, if you have this figure, but there's no other tabs or ridges or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to put this in here and then like stretch out the fingers or something like that to make it hold more frictionally. That said, whether you have them in here or not is not really going to make a difference. So go ahead and just tab these in on both sides. I can see this. Oh, sorry. And then this is what you have as far as a combined flight stand. You're supposed to also, man, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this, especially with my left eye. Yeah, that's not moving. So what you're supposed to do is get these straight and face them forward. You might want to try to do that before you release the thigh pieces, but like I said, mine are really tough, especially with the left one. Like this one I can barely move in, and I can't even get it to. Oh, ow, that hurt. So this is the best as I'm going to get it because I don't want to hurt myself, and I don't think you guys care all that much. Lastly, where is the gun? You want to flip this up. Oh no. How did they do that? This flips down here. This comes down, and these pieces fold like this, and then it goes into his kind of, well, butthole really. Slots in like this, and this comes forward. And that is the combined mode stand. All of them are super precarious when you try to put them on. All right, I'm going to show this, each of them, but it probably makes sense to show them off one at a time. And the space for this is very tough. So let me show them off one at a time. None of them do any kind of real semblance of a flight stand that I'd be comfortable with. Especially given how heavy these figures are. So this one, literally all it does is this piece kind of goes in between his crotch, and it just, this sits in between like the legs here, and that's it. There's no tab, no locks. All of them just prop up very precariously on this. It makes me very nervous. I'm actually very nervous about getting to his combined mode because I actually didn't have time to practice his combined mode from jet mode. So that might be where we struggle here, folks. So that's Silver Bolts. Oh, so these hands just came out. Let me just move these out the way for a little bit. I got to remember which ones are which. So here is Iceman. he just goes, wait. No, this is not his. I think this is his. No, which one is his? This one is, hold on, let me get Goose. That's Goose's. I thought how this one worked was that you would use these two to peg into these pieces here, which actually works okay. You can well, if you fold this piece, I think, out of the way, like that. I've actually secured it like this, and this actually holds pretty well. Oh, sorry. This actually holds decently well because these two tabs are very beefy. But apparently, what you're supposed to do is just slot this in here, and then these two big pegs just go on his hip skirts, like this. Or something like, or maybe on his knees. It's something like, oh yeah, like that. So these two things go on his little kneecaps. Yeah, something like that. I can't really see given how far up he is. But that's it. So let me get him out of the way. Who else do we have here? I think this is his, if I'm not mistaken. I think this goes here like this. Yeah, I might be totally off here. Let me do a quick check of the book because I don't want to mix all of these up. Let me make sure. So that one. Nope, I'm lying. This one's supposed to be down here. And it's supposed to be... where are my other planes? Oh, it's right in front of me. I'm stupid. Right here. So this was supposed to be his. Which goes in here and here. That doesn't seem right. Dang it, sorry. I just practiced this and I had paired them together when I stored them, but apparently I did not do a good job of that. Because this, yeah, it's supposed to be his. Yeah, Sony, I envy that you're not doing this live. Yeah, this is supposed to be his. All right, you guys might want to watch the video, the official video for this. Yeah, this is supposed to go. Oh, like this. Sorry. It's supposed to go like this, around his knees. But again, doesn't tab in or anything like that. So let's get rid of him. All right, who else do we have? The last two are Firefly, which is on this one. He has a kind of a notch right here. And it's supposed to go in like this. And then, oops, sorry. Again, not really confidence inducing. Am I doing this one wrong? Do I have these backwards again? Oh, that might be why. I might have them backwards. Oh yeah, sorry. I mentioned that I might have these yellow ones backwards. You can really tell which one's supposed to be on which side by the thigh curve, which what they have right here, and it shows he's supposed to be on this one. So my apologies. So this one basically just comes right here where his knees are and then sits back like this. So that's him. Whew, I'm sweating. All right, and the last one, we have this slot here. This is the only one that even has, I think, what I would consider kind of a point that makes sense. This one kind of slots in here, and this is supposed to come in between the legs here. Come on. Sorry, tabs in like that, and this one sits. This is probably the most secure one that we have. All right. So that was supposed to be the easy part, but that was actually one of the part that I was pretty scared about. Let's see what questions we have here. Ridiculous Badger says, is a hot dog... See, you've already asked that. We're not going through that again. Combined height to the top of head. We'll get that into robot mode when we get there. Can you use the oil that's on Superion's torso as sunblock? No, it's only like SPF 5, so I wouldn't recommend it. John Evans asks, so just like the Zeta one, it's an entire shirt and pants attached to everybody? Yeah, you don't really actually probably even need Silverbolt in there, but I haven't actually tried it without him, but I'm pretty sure you can. Use Twizzler? I don't know what Twizzler you mean for that. Felix Sanchez says, so are you convinced and ready to buy your own set? Honestly, probably not, and we'll get to that when I get to combine mode. Titan asks, do the jets lock into the stands or just rest on top? We just answered that. They just rest on top. There's no locking mechanism whatsoever. Again, the one that is closest is this that has a little tab and slot here, but even this isn't actually locking. It just is kind of a placeholder. Did you stop working out? No, I didn't, but this thing is heavy, so I actually worked out last night. That's why I had to end the stream last night at 9. Should I upgrade from Zeta Toys to Fans Toys? I can't answer that. If Razorwire / Ron Wu is in the chat, he's the one that's been whose photos have been circulating because he's a local. He picked his up yesterday and he's been showing photos with Zeta Toys. He definitely says it's not as posable and as easy just because it's so heavy, but it is fairly stable in combined mode. So, all right. So I think those are it for the questions. All right. So now the part that becomes super concerning. Yeah, the fight stands are absolutely a joke. I 100% agree that they don't actually tab in whatsoever at all. Like the only other one that you can use it in the unofficial mode is to use these, like I said, into these shins. All right, so let's go ahead and get these combined back or transformed back into the various parts of the legs and then combine it back with the Silverbolt one. So let's take these one at a time. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because these are pretty easy. So let's just unlock this. We're going to straighten the knees out, both the inner and forward-facing piece. We'll just leave these open, leave these up. You want to close this up, close this up. You're going to pull this locking tab up, get that in, fold this like so, collapse that together, and then both of them will fold down. This is the right thigh, so we're going to slot this in, but we got to hold off on that just for 1 second. Same thing with this one. Do the same thing. We're going to unlock the bottom here. Get the knee articulated all the way back straight again. Oh, get this out of the way. This part will lift up. This part will fold out, fold in, fold closed. All right. Fold these up, and this will be the left thigh. So these are done. Which foot is this? This is the right foot. Come up to the back here. Open these. Oh, fold this forward. Open these up. This will fold down in here. This piece will fold up, which was the locking mechanism. While you collapse this down, remember this is a telescoping joint, so collapse that all the way down, like so. These two pieces on the side, fold them out and up, and they tab into the side here. And then lastly, we're going to fold this very difficult piece. Try not to tuck it in all the way. I would recommend, you're not going to see this anyway, so just get it so you might be able to get a fingernail or very easily push this out. As you saw, I had to struggle with it. And this has a little peg here, so you just peg that in. That's the right foot. Same thing on this side, essentially. Make sure this is up, out of the way. Open up these flaps. Fold this down. Fold this up. We're going to telescope this joint in as we collapse the ankle down, like so. These pieces fold up. Tab that in like so. Same thing on this side. I wonder why this one doesn't have a tab while this side does. Interesting. Like this has one, this has two. Is that the same on this one too? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. All right. In any case, sorry, my brain sometimes goes on tangents. Fold this up. Oh, I probably pushed that in too much. Oh no. Okay. There we go. We're gonna close this up and peg it in. That's foot. Come to the centerpiece here. Just pull this out. We're gonna straighten this out. Go like so. I guess we're gonna go into animation mode first. So technically we want to get rid of this. We're gonna just throw this away for animation mode. For animation mode, we actually do want to, because it's going to be mounted to the arm as opposed to held as a gun. It's kind of weird. You're going to want to flip this out, and we'll tell you how this works. It's not the greatest, but we'll put that off to the side. All right, dealing with this piece. Before I forget, because I sometimes do, is flip these pieces around. Just be careful. These are not mirrored. So you can't, well, I mean, you could flip them around, but then you're going to have some weird clearance issues later. So go like that. Get these shoulders rotated back. Back up 90 degrees like that. Same thing on this side. The fists were also at the bottom, but as you saw, they just fall right out. Again, there might be a better way. If you find a better way, please let me know. I just have not been able to figure it out. So fold these up, fold this down, and we're going to go ahead and tab this hip skirt in. Same thing on this side. Get this cleared around. Rotate here. This will close back up with this one tab here. Come on. Sorry, it's kind of a blind tab, so I'm struggling to get this in. Come on. There we go. Rotate this 180. I think I had this wrong from the beginning, so I apologize for that. From here, we're going to go pull out on this locking tab on both sides here. We're going to pull up to untab this piece. We're going to bring this up to get to... So this started out this way, right? The head was locked in. So the thing you need to do to get it into combined mode, we'll just do that now because, well, I guess we'll go back technically into the out of box mode, and then I'll show you from combined mode because some folks will probably be coming directly out of box, and I do want to show them how that works. So go fold these up, tab that in, tab this in. Oh, sorry, you need to tab in the sides first. Tab in the sides, tab in the front, and then these locking tabs here. Fold this up. All right, so we're basically back in out of box mode. We just need to connect the thighs. Oh, jeez. So you do want to spread the hip joint out a bit if you can manage it without killing yourself like I am. You just slide this in, push it in as far as it goes, close up the front first, and then the two side pieces will tab in for the thighs. This side should be a little bit easier for me because it's not as tight as the other one for some reason. Not to say that it's not tight, but not as tight. Oh man, I feel like I'm breaking this thing. And it's so short that it's hard to get any leverage is the problem. All right. Maybe this was the thigh because I had it backwards. All right, well, let's see if we can manage it with it not being straight. Once I get this in, it'll be a lot easier to manipulate because you'll have more leverage. So get the mushroom peg in. Come on. There we go. Push that all the way in. Close up the front, close up the sides. And now I should have enough leverage to actually, yeah, there we go. See, once you have them in, they're much easier to deal with. But this piece keeps not wanting to tab in this hip skirt. There we go. Jeez. All right, so now we're back to out of the box mode. The out of the box mode, all that we really need to do to get it into animation mode are a couple things. First, we'll open this back up. I know we're just repeating this, but again, I wanted to do it from out of the box for people who are coming here not having gone through the flight stand mode. So we're going to pull these out because we're not going to need it for animation mode. We're going to need it for, what's it called mode though? Toy mode, but we'll get to that. Same thing as before, we're going to need to open up this panel and this panel, open up these sides, get these open and out of the way. Now you're going to have to flip this inner panel, which feels scary the first time you do it. I'm not going to lie. I thought there was something wrong, but you just need, you just need to loosen this up and flip this all the way around. And then once you do that halfway, you want to rotate the neck panel. Sorry, this is supposed to be like this. Rotate the neck panel so that when you fold this all the way around and lock it into place, the head is facing the correct direction. Now we can basically reverse what we did for now because I just don't want things flopping around. But we're going to have to open this up for Silverbolt once we get to him. So let's close these up. Close this up. And like I said, I think you can basically make the combined mode without Silverbolt. But you will have some hollowness in here. I don't know if you guys see that. The face does look extremely nice, I think. One of the characteristics is that you can actually see under the nose of the cartoon Superion, as opposed to like Optimus Prime, whose nose is underneath the mask. I'm not going to do articulation here, I suppose, but yeah. So now we're kind of ready for the combined mode parts with all these people here. Now this is where I get to the part where I'm really nervous that this might just go completely haywire in this live stream review. Is now I need to get all 5 of these planes into combined mode. I'm not gonna lie, that makes me super nervous. But we're gonna go for it. All right, let's see. The 2 legs are here. And it's been so long since I practiced this that I don't even remember how to combine. I had to go back and watch all my videos and relearn how to do some of these transformations. I had to actually watch T-Man 978's video on the what's it called? Maybe do it tomorrow. No, I don't want to hold people off. People got mad that I didn't even show combined mode yesterday. So I'm gonna do my best here, but we'll see how it goes. So the first thing we'll do is we need to get these wings out. And the easiest way I found is just to pull up on this rear section to release these tabs back here. You want to flip some of this up. There's an over-under tab here. So you want to release this. And then you want to release this under tab here. Let's just get this out of the way. You want to lift this up and these pieces will have to come back while they split. Oops, sorry. These have to go underneath because you want to get this die cast middle section through these pieces here. Which again, I don't honestly distinctly remember the easiest way to do that. I just remember it being a bit of a challenge to clear these. So, get through. There we go. All right, get this up. These will come back. All right, yeah. And then these are supposed to come back, if I'm not mistaken, and tab up in here for leg mode. These, I believe, come up like this, and then they'll tab in. So, all right, the other section that we have is the front. This has to come down. How does this mode go? This does have to rotate around 180 around this joint here. This part is kind of the scary part. And originally I thought that this die-cast piece would go underneath here for combined mode, but apparently it does not. The one thing that I'm not confident about that I remember not struggling with before in the previous video was I couldn't remember how to do this accordion piece here to get it to sit the right way. So we'll see if I can still struggle with that. All right, this way, I think that's good. So basically what we need to do for the most part is get these flipped down. And it should be this one. And I'm going to try to deal with this part in a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, it goes like this. And when you come down here, all you need to do for the feet to tab in are get these two tabs on the sides, slotted into each side of the ankle, and then get this front piece tabbed in to the front here. While that does sound simple, I forget which leg it was. I think it might have been Iceman here. Trying to do that was actually kind of a struggle. And I realized that one of the easiest ways to do that, just because I couldn't get this down enough, I found that the easiest way to do that is to make use of this ankle tilt here in robot mode to get a little bit more play, essentially. Oh, sorry. So I like to plug in that one on one of the sides first, and then plug in the two fronts. Come on. The two fronts are supposed to be the easy part. All right. And then I tried to make use of this ankle joint to get a little bit more play in locking in this bottom one. Oh, the second one. I know that's easier said than done because I tried it a lot. Maybe I did it the other way. Oh, and I'm thinking that I did mess up this portion here. Is it supposed to be this way? Oh yeah, okay. So to be clear, this these sections here, oops, well, that actually will help you me show it better. Make sure that this first section is pointed up and this one's pointed down. The reason is you need to have these thrusters go inside the ankle piece. There's like a gap here that these ankle pieces go in. That somewhat secures that whole piece down. So that's really important. Otherwise, if you have it like up and up here, so you can see that little cutout here, you need to have the thrusters in that gap situated. It doesn't tab in like most of the things in this combiner, but it does sit in place and help you kind of lock it in. Again, I'm still struggling with the ankle here. What I'm saying is when you try to close this, it's not that easy. You can see that it sits a little bit lower. And I was using this ankle tilt to make it work, but for some reason, it's not as easy as I figured it out to be earlier today. But I feel like I'm struggling with this for some unknown reason. I feel like there's not enough clearance down here. You can see that like the bottom of my figure is getting all... It should be very simple that I can just tab these two sides in. With the other figure, with the other foot, it is easy to do. But with this one in particular, I don't know why. I was complaining with razor wire on this one that I could not for the life of me. It took me about a half an hour. And again, it was with experimentation that I was finally able to get it done. But it was with the ankle tilt. That's how I did. Oh, I remember now. So what I did was split the legs. And then that gave me even a little bit more room to tab in both sides first before I put in the front. That's what it was. So give me a second. I'm trying to octopus this in right now. Come on. There we go. So see, I got both ankles in now. Now I close up the legs. That was the secret. Sorry, I thought I did it the other way. But there we go. Now we have everything locked into place. Make sure that these thrusters are down like that. These rest of the pieces will just close up and the wings fold back like you would expect. This one came out, but don't worry about that. That's fine. I don't at this point remember if the tips are supposed to be out or not, but it's probably neither here nor there. If this is supposed to be up, you can put it up, but I feel like it's supposed to be down. These upper pieces don't tab in anywhere. Just sit them as far forward as you can. The way this is supposed to work, supposedly, is that this tab here goes into this slot. It's more like it's aspiring to be a tab. Like if you try to actually tab it in, it doesn't actually tab. It just kind of rests in there, and that's it. But it doesn't tab. It will push out by itself. But that is essentially his leg mode. Once we get him combined, this does tab in to the top here, but the rest of it is as you see. All right, sorry, that was a struggle, but that's actually probably the easier one because I barely remember, because that was a more recent figure. This one, I barely remember. All right, so I do remember that we have tabs on the side here, so let's get these down. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, we have to pull out on these wing pieces. Then everything else is just tabbed downwards if I don't... Yeah, there we go. This opens up. This has that weird central piece here. The one thing I learned about this was from watching my old video. So the instructions at official Fans Toys do show you that you need to slide this piece down. But the thing they tell you to do is just basically jam it in here. That is not correct, 100%. What you need to do is split the leg, and I'll show you why. Can I show you why? When you split the leg, you'll see that there's actually a tab that's supposed to sit in between this bar here. So once you split this open, you're supposed to get that. You're supposed to get that bar in. You did see that I put the central piece here underneath and closed up that flap. But it's kind of hard to show you. But if you push in enough, you can tab in one leg. Come on. Sorry, it's easier said than done, but you're supposed to... Ow! Gosh, that hurt. You're supposed to tab in one leg and then the other. All right, there we go. I think that... Oh, the reason why I'm struggling is because this Oh, sorry. I'm doing things out of order. These parts are supposed to rock to the side here. So let's split... split this piece. And this piece is supposed to come out and rock down to the side like so. So sorry about that. But regardless, you need to get these two tabs in locked in here. I don't remember how this goes, but this... Oh, yeah, that's right. So then this piece, there you see this tab slot here. This is supposed to tab in with this black piece on the rear piece. And I just don't remember how this is supposed to look. I think it might be looking like that. But there you go. This piece comes down. This piece comes down. Coming to the front here, we're going to split this piece with the landing gear. If I'm not mistaken, you need to open up. You're supposed to open this up, but I don't remember exactly how I did it in this order. Come on, it's supposed to split in half. So you're supposed to split this in half because you're going to need this open, but did I do something out of order? Is there tabs in here? I feel like I'm doing something out of order here. Oh, it does look like I did something out of order because it looks like this was supposed to come undone first so that I can release these tabs up here. So again, sorry, I'm struggling a lot today, folks. This is supposed to open. Yeah, Paik is definitely confused. I don't remember how to get this part open here. It looks like there's tabs here that go into the back, but I don't remember this part coming open. I remember this comes, oh, there was no tab. Okay, so it was just locked into place. All right, so I was like, is that locked in? It was just me not being strong enough. All right, so where was I? All right, so we need to get this wheel in. You need to pull the front piece up, this in, and this will come through. And then you fold this in, fold that in, and fold up the canopy. This piece will come around like this, and now we'll start combining everything. So this was supposed to remain closed. This is good, and I think that's good. So now we can do the same thing that we did with the other foot. Now that we have all this taken care of, we're going to tab this in. And again, this side doesn't have the same issue as my other. Well, maybe it does. I remember this side being a lot easier. It has a little bit less of a clearance issue, at least. I just need to push it a little bit more, I think. Come on. This one, I remember being easy. Got one side in. All right, let's try the same technique I did with the other one. Oh, I didn't even put in the landing gear here. Close that up. Close that up. Ooh, whoa. I just almost lost him. Again, same. Oh, maybe it's because this heel was not tucked in all the way. But again, I'm just going to try to make use of these little ankle tilts to give me a little bit more room to work with. And this should give me enough to close this one up like I did last time with the other leg. But then again, I could be wrong, and I might have to split these legs again. The only reason I don't want to split the legs here is because, remember, there's that beam in the middle, and that beam has to tab in for it to be properly done. So that's why I'm hesitating doing this, but maybe it's the only way I can get it done in less than 3 hours. All right, making sure that beam is still in there. It is good. Sorry, that took a little bit longer as well. Not as long as the last one, but with that, we have this other leg essentially done. Unlike the other one, we don't have to worry about getting anything tabbed in or slotted in terms of making sure it is Wait, did I put the wrong ankle in? Oh, don't tell me I put the wrong ankle in. Hold on. Did I put the wrong foot on the wrong figure? No, I was right. Okay. Phew. I was like, I can't be because the colors are right. So this one and this one. All right. Now we're going to put these in. They're actually pretty easy to put in. The trick is first you need to bend. You have to open this up, bend these down. And they both have slots here on the back of their neck that go in here. So make sure you have this up. You want to come in like this from behind. Push forward as far as you can. Sorry, I'm trying to... Push in as far as you can. You should be able to straighten this out. The cover, the knee cover, is supposed to cover the head here. Oh, the head is crooked. Sorry. My head is crooked. That's going to cause problems. All right, sorry about that. There we go. Sorry about that. Now we're going to bring this piece down. This piece tabs in under the chest. And then once you have that under the chest, press forward on this knee piece to get that tabbed in. Oh, man. I did the one thing I was going to tell you guys not to do, which is this knee piece has to come down before you tab that in. It has to cover the head like that. And then you can cover that in and then push forward. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to straighten the leg out completely. So be careful of that. This piece comes down like so. This piece will come down and around and tab into the back. Down and around into the back. And then this piece, you want to have, I believe, this die cast piece, this first joint here, pointing upwards. And then you can see that there's a little tab here that goes into the back of the knee. And that is what secures that portion. That, my friends, is one leg done. That took forever, I know. All right. Same thing with the other side. Again, not that hard. The problem is that he's just massive. Make sure that this inner piece of the knee is pulled all the way back, because the head has to go behind that. We're going to slot this in again. Make sure that this knee cover comes down and covers the face. Oh no, his face came off. Oh man. Why did you choose this moment to come off? Tab that back in. Now we got to go back, bring the knee down. What is going on? Oh, this thing's in the way. Slide forward, bring the knee cover down, come in here, tab in the chest, push afterwards to get this locked in, and straighten out the leg. I'm sure you guys are roasting me pretty bad here. Fold this down. And from here, we got to fold this down. Fold this down. Nope, that's a lie. Fold this in, and then fold this down. And there's slots on either side here that go like that. And then this piece, all it really does is sit up over this piece here, will sit over top of this. There we go. And that is the back of the leg for his right leg. Did this not tab in? Yeah, it did. Okay. So reminder, again, there is one small tab at the very bottom here. I pointed out before, this black piece tabs into the silver piece to get it locked in. Just doing some cleanup. All right. That is how he stands with both legs done. Very big. All right. All right. Luckily, the arms are the easier bots to do, but I'm saying that now and then I'm probably going to regret it. All right, let's go with him first. Since we just did him, he should be the easiest for me to remember. We'll just close up his wheels here. We can actually leave this one on. We're going to pull this out of the way, as I described yesterday, just so it doesn't potentially snag on anything. You want to untab here and here. This tail piece, we want to untab like so. And then we're going to release all the tabs that are underneath both of the wings, as well as this one piece up here. Looks. Who was saying that the tail wings tab into the side of the legs? I am pressed with all my might. The tail wings? So these pieces, like I said, kind of tab in slightly here. If you're talking about these, I don't think if I don't recall correctly, these don't tab in anywhere. They're just like hanging out. So I don't know if that's what you're asking, Sony. So you want to pull, let me make sure I'm not, yeah, I did unlock the side tab. So you want to make sure that you release these tabs underneath. They are pretty beefy and there are several of them. And then also the one round tab up front. It is easier said than done, but it is possible. It can be done. Like so. Oh, it looks like somebody donated. Oh, it's Rusty, mechanic. So once we have these done. Oh, that's why I'm stupid. You remember this one tab that I really don't like? You need to basically stress this around. That was what was keeping that from coming down. So we're going to lift this up. As we showed yesterday, we're going to rock this entire lower backpack down. And then tab the legs in again. You're going to want to pull down and unlock this tab. And then push this all the way through. And as I recall, I made a mistake originally. For combined mode, these tabs are supposed to be facing forward. So just get it so that the wings are folded back 90 degrees, basically, and these are facing forward. Same thing on this side. Release this tab, release this tab. And then you want to push through like so. Oh, man, these joints are so tight. Like that. We want to move this around like so. Move this around like so. And this forms one of the arms. We are going to have to come to the front here, undo the canopy. Open this up. I'm going to rotate this back. After you close this, the head's going to rotate forward. And then all this is going to kind of accordion. So this is going to come up and tab in here. These are going to split along the back. Make sure that this piece here, which is kind of a U-shaped, goes into this slot. It's kind of a squared off U, and that will get you aligned correctly. Get this piece underneath the front nose cone flaps here, and then you can pull that back. And when you rock this forward, there's a couple tabs here. There's this tab here, a tab back here. Same thing up here. And then we can close this up. All right, that's really it for the hand. Where is the actual fist itself? Oh, the arm, that's it for the arm. Make sure, remember we rotated this 180 to get it into the underside here. Get this back. And you want to slot it in like so, all the way. The only other thing that you want to do is open this up. Yeah, this is the right one. And now we can tab this in. There's nothing else to do on this figure. He's actually pretty simple. I don't know what the ratchets on this are not aligned correctly. All right. So the way that he slots in, let me scooch this up a bit just so you, oh no. Sorry about that. My charging cable got caught. All right, so to get him slotted in, all you have to do is lift this up. There's rails on the arm here, so you just come up. Be careful not to damage your head. Slot this all the way down. This one closes, and these just fold back. And with that, you have his left arm done. Oh, sorry, this was supposed to be... I thought I did that. Maybe I only did it for the other side, but this should be like so. Yeah, I did it for the other side. All right, so that's his left arm and his left shoulder. We got to scooch back down, and we got to do that same thing for the other arm. So give me a second. All right, so I'm actually somewhat happy with the progress we made. I know we've gotten stuck on a couple places, but it's actually less of an issue. I'm trying to remember which way this is supposed to go. I've had less issues than I was expecting. But then again, I haven't gotten to the silver bolt, which is the one I'm most nervous about. All right. Now we're just going to fold these up, these landing gear. Fold this one up, close that down. All right. I'm going to pull this down, this down. These pieces are going to split so that we can get this whole middle section that has the tail piece through. We do want to loosen some of this to allow for that. I also find that getting this out of the way helps. You do want to, on this piece, when you rock it up, there's a couple of hinges. There's the white hinge, but there's also the red hinge. You want to make sure that this red hinge is all the way up, and so it sits closer to the body. So we'll do that. And yeah, we just need to get this part split. The legs can split. And by releasing that, we will be able to get the two halves to open up. That, ooh. That was not supposed to happen, but it seems okay. I'll just peg these back on. Don't do that. That's not part of the transformation. All right. So get that piece back on. We'll split the legs, which are not wanting to split right now. There we go. The one thing that you need to do that is not always obvious is that you actually have to collapse the legs a bit more. So you need to open this and you need to, extend the legs, I think. Wait. No, we don't need to do that. Sorry. All right, and get this tab back in. We do need to get this down like so. And then the only thing I have to remember, oops, sorry, I'm way too high here. The only thing I have to remember is how to get this all back in here. So we go like this. You do need to angle these in a specific orientation so that these tabs line up. Like so. These actually stay out to the side. You can close back up the arms. The legs. Fold these down. And we're basically done with him. We do need to get the face down like so. Open up these chest pieces. But that is his orientation for combined mode. The only thing we need to add is his fist. What you do need to open up the toes a bit to do. Ow. There we go. And then these are hooked on, so you need to kind of get in underneath and you'll see that they hook into this slot here. Okay, once that's in, you fold these feet, toes up. Get the arms like so. I don't remember if these are supposed to be out. Let me see. No, they're supposed to be up. All right. Let's scooch back up. I think I'm oh man, I'm really nervous about Silverbolt. All right, so we have to open this up. So unlike this side where we folded these back, once we slot this in on the same rail system, these actually tab into the shoulder pieces here. And with that, we have... Oh, you may be asking why I left this... Oh, no. I was lying. I was supposed to extend these legs here. Dang it. Can I still do that without taking everything apart? Yeah, I should be able to. Sorry. Just open these up. The reason why you need to extend this is because that's how the gun mounts in here. Like so. Because when you close this up, the reason why you need it is because the combined gun sits right in this gap here. Sorry about that. I thought I was right the first time, but then I second guessed myself. You need to keep this flap open, so we'll keep it open for now. tab these in. So we'll keep this hip skirt open because where we have it now, just so I can show you really quickly, because I'm actually not confident that I'm going to get Silverbolt done, is that this flap that we folded up and these two tabs will correspond to here. So you basically just jam this into, am I on camera here? Yeah, jam this into the hip skirt area and then lock this down. And that's how you get the animation gun mount. I think it looks pretty dumb. You lose all elbow articulation, but that is the official way to do it. All right, and as you can see, we don't even have Silverbolt in, and he holds just fine. He has a big gap in his back, but I guess that's neither here nor there. On second thought, I probably should have put Silverbolt in before I put the arms in, but we're just gonna roll with it just like we have been for the last, oh man, hour and a half. So let me try my best here to tackle Silverbolt. I really struggled just getting him into plane mode earlier today, following T-Man's instructions, so I'm not very confident that I'm going to be able to do this. But yeah, he is quite massive. I guess, just in case I don't get this done, let us measure him. So from, you're not going to be able to see this, but from the bottom to the top of the head is about 21 inches. A little bit more with the antenna. So I'm going to leave him facing backwards because that's how we're going to have to put Silverbolt in. All right, this is the one where things might fall apart even more so than they already have. This figure, I realized how much I hated this figure. It reminded me after I was transforming him again. So we're going to fold these landing gear in. We got to unpeg here, here, and here. These arm pieces are the things that I hate, and I feel like they did not give enough room here for this portion. So let's just do that. Do I even remember how to transform this figure? I feel like I don't. There's some over and under tabs. Over and under tabs. This is the piece that stabbed T-Man in his video. It felt good for me to not be the one that got stabbed for once. We're going to break this joint here. We're going to split the legs. Come on. Come on, help me out here. I want to split this whole section. Let me get a spudger in here. Ow. That's what I get for making fun of T-Man, giving him a hard time. All right, I don't even remember how this piece folds. Oh, I think it just folds like this. We're just going to wing it with Silverbolt because, again, he barely matters in this combined mode, as you can see. This all comes down. This all comes down. This ends up being basically the backpack section. I think it folds up like this. Let's see. I frankly... Oh, man, I'm feeling lost here because I don't remember if the hips need to go up or not. Because I can get him into robot. I think I can get him into robot mode, but I actually don't remember how closely the configuration is for robot mode as opposed to... I feel like he's mostly in robot mode, though. So we're going to go ahead and get these hips up. I could be wrong. If the thing, do the Bobby Skull face, if a thing moves, move it. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember exactly how this works. So again, we might have to take a pause here or there to get it situated. But let's deal with the legs at least. They do rotate at the knees. I do remember that. And then these pieces are basically already in the way we're supposed to have them. We just need to close up the panel here. This part, I feel like I did incorrectly. Because this is not closing up. Maybe this is supposed to fold down. Yeah, this is one part I'm already not confident that I know what I'm doing on. This is supposed to come around and tab in to form the other leg. But I don't remember how that works. How do I do this side? Folded it up just like I did here. Maybe I'm supposed to fold this down this way, but no, that definitely is not right. Hazy Farsh. The weight of this guy is about 10 pounds. A little bit over 10 pounds. This I know is right. That I do not know. All right, so we're just going to keep going, and I'm going to have to circle back. All right, the nose cone and everything splits up here. I do know that. I don't have Terminus, so I can't tell you if that is accurate or not. But he is very heavy. All right. Fold this in. We're supposed to split the nose cone. Come on, Henry. You can split a nose cone. Ow, my fingers. Ow, my fingernails. Help me out, Spudger. There we go. All right, so these come down to the side, like so. This is supposed to come out, isn't it? Pretty sure this is supposed to come out because this has the armature here. So I remember this was a bunch of... Oh, it comes out this way. My bad. Comes out that way. The head is correct. It's supposed to hide. This is supposed to come up. The only thing I don't remember is how the arms are supposed to be situated. But I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be basically in robot mode. So let's at least get it back into robot mode, and then we can go from there. So let's open this panel up, get the arms out. This piece is supposed to come up, and this is supposed to come in and tab in to the front and to the side. I remember that being super weird. You have a tab at the front and a tab at the side. But let me try to remember how to get this arm out here. So this arm comes out to the side here. Oh, and yeah, this comes down underneath. There we go. And one part's supposed to plug into the side. While this one, that's the shoulder joint. This is supposed to fold around. Okay. All right, we're close-ish. Not like super close, but We're getting towards the robot mode, which is where we need to be. All right. So that's one arm. Now this other arm. Bring this up. Bring this up. Bicep comes around this way. And then this piece comes in, tabs into the front and to the side. There we go, here and here. This comes down. I think the only thing I'm doing wrong is like the shoulder piece. All right. Hip skirts are good. This is supposed to be covered up. And this is supposed to be split like this. So this comes up like so. And like that. And then these pieces are supposed to come to the back here. Let me make sure everything is tabbed in here. These are supposed to come to the back. I believe in the instructions they say to undo this section here. This arm is supposed to be out like this. All right. And the legs, I need to figure out how to do this leg. That's the big problem here. I'm totally blanking on how this leg's supposed to not interfere with this portion. It can't be this way, right? I'm reading some of these comments. I definitely am deserving of this because I thought I was mostly prepared, but when I got overzealous and said, "Oh, I'm going to do alt mode for the flight stands," I did not prepare for that. But the legs essentially are supposed to come backwards like this and fold up like so. But unless I figure this part out, I'm going to be stuck. So let me pause here. You give me permissions to look at the instructions. Thanks, T. The problem is I just don't know how Silverbolt works. Where's Silverbolt? Wait. How do the legs work on Silverbolt? What? His legs are supposed to look like this? I don't recall this at all. His legs are supposed to... Oh, no, that is right, yeah. So his legs are supposed to come together, but I still do... It does still not give me enough information to figure this part out. Oh! I think I'm stupid. I forget. Wasn't that one of the major complaints that, like, his knee had, like, the... What's it called pointing out of it? Was that it? I feel like that might have been it. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, then we just come up like this. Then the arms come out to the side. All right. All right, yeah. So the arms come out to the side, and there are tabs here that go onto the leg. Yeah, that's what the knee. I kind of do remember that now. So that these tabs on the arms come out here. These legs basically just not even go 90 degrees, 90 degrees. They just kind of go like this. Arms come up like that. Oh no, that's definitely not right. Sorry, I didn't fold this piece in. This piece is supposed to come down. And in. All right. Get this arm tab back in. I don't think this is right at all. I'm not gonna lie. I think I messed up these red pieces because I'm pretty sure those are supposed to tab back in. But this is essentially supposed to come back like this. And then from here, we come up to the core bot. All right. All right, I should have done the core bot before I did the arms. I was making fun of how Fans Toys did the instructions, and I'm probably doing it in a way that's probably just as bad. So we need to open these up, make sure these are open. Open. And this basically just goes into the back. There's no real elegant way to describe that. I mess up on that section. Did I do this backwards? I don't think so. I thought yeah, this is right. Why does it feel like it's not going in correctly? Clearly I'm not doing something right because these pieces are sticking out too far. And these supposed to go in between here. All right, I might have to just give up and do this as an update because these pieces are the only pieces that don't seem to be working correctly. Was it this way? I'm frustrating myself. I apologize, everyone. This is super embarrassing. Everything seems right. That's why I'm a bit confused. And it goes into the core bot. Oh, I'm dumb. That's why. Killing myself trying to figure out why this is not going in when I didn't open up the flaps. All right, hopefully this is it. Because if it's not, then I officially give up for the day. Ron was probably yelling at me, Paik, you got to open up the flaps in the comments, and I was not even paying attention. So yeah, there we go. That. This folds back down so that you can close up these two side pieces. This comes down, locks it in here, close up the chest. And then this closes up like that. This closes up like that, and this tabs in to both sides of the legs. This tabbing in. This basic tab. I don't know why this tab is not going in. Well, it's neither here nor there, because that tab does not matter. It's inconsequential. But after all that effort and screwing around with Silverbolt, we are done. All right. Articulation-wise, the only things that we're going to really talk about are the shoulders and upper body, since we did the legs. The head's on the neck panel, so you can actually look a little bit up, a little bit down. You can look all the way around. His shoulders make me nervous just because, like, if they're not secured, I mean, if you don't kind of forcefully control it near the joint, the pieces of the combiner can come undone. So, like, if I like pull this out, oftentimes this chest will come untabbed. So just be careful there. It does come up and it is ratcheted. You can hear ratchets going this way. You can go all the way around. And again, this joint's only up here. He does have elbow joints and a bicep swivel. No butterfly joint. He does have that ab crunch, which I showed before, which is decent. He does have waist articulation. We already showed the legs. I think that's it as far as additional articulation. I showed the hands yesterday, but let's go ahead and show them again. He does have ratcheted wrists that go around. The thumbs are my favorite part because it has a rotational joint here that you don't see, and it's molded in a way that is very realistic. It has a rotational joint here as well, and the thumb has a ball peg, a pin, and a pin. And then the forefingers are all different sizes. They have a pin here, here, and here, and they have screws here that allow you to splay them. That one was really tight for some reason. The gun can be not in animation mode by untabbing this up here, closing this down, and then you can get the big tab into the hand itself. Come on, there we go. Curl the fingers around like that. Let's see. Is there anything else that we need to talk about with hand? Oh, he does have a little bit of back. Oh man, I was not even in frame here that whole time. Back, rotational joint, thumb that rotates, this hinge here, the pin joints and the pin joints, and the splaying. And then the tab, which works quite well. All right. The only thing that I think we have to show off are the different modes. So you can pull up on the head, rotate it around. You do need to flip this head crest piece around. Slot that in. Oh, nope, sorry. One other thing you need to do to get him into toy mode is actually, out the antenna. You just slide up on a I-beam piece, and then you swap sides, like so. And then you have his standard straight-faced here. You will need to get rid of this piece and open up his chest once more to put back in the toy chest pieces. Like so, they are hinged here to give you a little bit of room in case you need to get the arm forward. The alternate faces, you can just pull forward on this big honking tab here. Oh, man. Ow. I don't know why it's not coming out. There we go. Jeez. Put this back in, and then you got the screaming face. And then alternatively, the silver, gold painted as opposed to the gold chrome. Put that in. And with that, I am done. Oh man, I am spent. My back hurts, my hands hurts, my pride especially hurts from doing such a poor job, especially with Silverbolt. But that is Jester plus his combiner parts with the rest of Fans Toys Superion. So, final thoughts. I don't think this figure in combined mode is fun to pose, primarily because all of the kibbly bits that just go everywhere every time you move him. It seems like you're just having to rearrange different pieces, especially with the legs. That said, he is quite stable. He's quite hefty. I guess we can do a specific weight test while I'm talking about this, but he's definitely over 10 pounds all combined. His articulation is quite good for a combiner. He has nice ratcheted hips that can hold pretty stable. The ankles could be a bit better. Oh. And give you a little bit more range. But once you get him in a pose, he does lock in pretty well. Then the fact that he does have an ab crunch at this size, pretty amazing. I wish it was a little bit tighter. What happened to my scale? Why did it turn off? All right, let's put him on the scale. Oh, the batteries are low. I don't even know if I have batteries for this thing. Oh, of course it has to be 5. It's 10 pounds. It's 10 plus pounds. Had to be one of those 9-volt batteries, of course, which I don't even know if I have any of those. He looks overall really, really fantastic. I think in terms of overall looks, he looks amazing. If you're going to just put him on your shelf, I think this is way nice to have. He's impossibly hard to just manage and lift, 10 plus pounds lifting. You can definitely get your curls in and still get a decent workout. Everything actually cleans up decently well, even though I didn't do a great job of that, as you can see here with Silverbolt. That's the one thing. This is the one thing that doesn't really do anything with Silverbolt. It doesn't tab in or anything, but they're all kind of like that. All these figures just kind of work off of friction here on that up. See, I kind of mentioned it before when I was saying if you manipulate the arms, different parts of them can come untabbed. So you saw that it was loose there. It's because the chest piece on him came undone and untabbed. But the legs are really well secured in the knees. Actually, some of it reminds me of some of the engineering that MMC did with their combiners, especially their Bruticus, and how the knee has multiple points, like an inner and outer knee joint, and that they tab into the front. So that works really well. This part actually cleaned up decently well. I was concerned about it just flopping around. Same with this. These actually hold really well. It's just the wings and everything that kind of just flop around that are kind of annoying when you manipulate the legs. But again, he's really quite solid if as long as you're not doing something super dynamic. He's really stable. Like, look at that. I had to push him pretty hard there. So I'm pretty impressed with what they did. After 5 long years, was he worth the wait? Yeah, kind of. Kind of. Am I gonna drop the money to keep this guy in my collection? I'm gonna say no, mainly because I'm all in on kind of like the all-in-one combiner and the scale that I have from MMC Ocular Max. But I don't think that anyone would probably be disappointed after 5 years. If you're a Fans Toys fan, you're gonna be a fan of this because the things that you love about the regular Fans Toys figures, the weight, the look, the overall quality, the paint, everything like that is in spades um, in this first combiner from them. So no, it's definitely stable. The Titan, even if you touch it, you saw me like pressing it quite a bit, more than most combiners would really be able to stand. To be perfectly honest, so I think they actually did a good job. Um, the things that I'm disappointed about are how expensive some of the figures are, given that the engineering is very much the same. That said, I don't really want to blame Fans Toys too much for that because it is a lot about the design and having these wings sticking out everywhere um, um, is just part of the design, the G1 design. A lot of people probably will have faults with it being so parts forming, but to be fair, it's a trade-off, right? Let's be honest. Even though I love the Ocular Max stuff, they're not as stable as these guys here, and it's a trade-off. So it really depends on what you're looking for in your combiners. If you are looking for a masterpiece style, large scale figure, this is a really nice one. Is he better than Zeta Toys? I can't say personally because I don't own and I haven't played with him enough. But I think he is a really great figure overall. $400 was a lot to um, swallow for the last figure with the combiner parts, and the flight stand is really terrible. But the flight stand modes are really terrible. But I don't think most people are going to display it unless you're Jermaine Sutton and you have 3 of these each to display the different modes. I don't think most people are going to care about that. I did actually find batteries for my scale, and he is almost exactly 10 pounds. Oh, well, it looks like exactly 10 pounds without the gun, which is 160 ounces, 4,536 grams. That's ridiculous. $1,000 in total. I think it's actually more than $1,000. It's 400 just for Jester, and then you had $200 for Maverick and each of the limbs. You're talking about like $1,200 ish. I think I'd say on the low end. I think maybe some of the earlier ones were a little bit cheaper, but I don't recall. While we're here, I'll do some comparisons, just because I promised I would. Uh, Unfortunately, actually I do. I do have one combiner here. The MMC one, just because that's the scale I'm in on. You're not going to be happy with this scale. And while, like I said, this guy is much more stable than this guy. Oh, well, sorry. He's kind of riding him, but I feel like he's much more stable than this guy. The other figure that I think he does scale with which is in my collection. Give me a second. Oh. Hold on. This is still my Devi of choice. He scales quite well with him. I have him obviously hunched over a bit with the A stance. but they are pretty much the same height. This is quite an old figure, to be perfectly honest, but I still love him a lot, and he still does kind of the same thing as Fans Toys with the parts forming with the hips. Not as much because this is all torso as well. He does actually have transforming torso and so forth, but I think the scale works quite well. And the only other figure that I think that I'll show him off with. Sorry, my big figures are high up on the shelf, and in front of them are a lot of other figures that I don't want to damage. So the only other figure that I want to show him off with is DX9's Omega. That's my Omega choice. I don't have Terminus, so I can't really compare him with that, but I think anybody who has Terminus kind of knows the scale with DX9's Gabriel, so hopefully that helps out. That Devastator was the Toy World Devastator LC. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I totally forgot about the Q&A sections. I kind of blanked out there as I was floundering. So I think I answered the question about the height. It's cool enough, but can you articulate the ray gun? I mean, you can for the flight stand stuff, but not really as you're supposed to do. Again, the only real articulation when you combine this in is at the shoulder. You can't bend the elbow. For the toy mode, sorry, I should have brought this back in. Toy mode gun, like so. What other questions were there? Oh, I just understood that. It's cool and all, but can it articulate like Ray Gun, the Australian Olympic breakdancer? I don't know. She put on a pretty good show. I don't know if we can do that here. The Tin Nut says, I believe you're supposed to take the thighs off the parts forming and attach them separate to the torso. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can definitely do that. I just wanted to do that from out of the box. Out of the box, the thighs are already attached, so I wouldn't want to. If for somebody's coming here for instructions, which they shouldn't clearly, because I was not prepared for a lot of these figures, they probably would want to see right out of the box. Can you put up a poll to see what percentage of the audience here is Superion, and what percentage is here to see you suffer? That's funny, McBluer. It's already too late for a poll now. Adrian Lee says, also random question, but are you following the Skybound Transformers comics? No, I've only read the first 3 issues, I think. So I've been behind on that. I Still Function is how much you think is he weighs? Like, make a guess. I already knew that he weighed like 10 pounds, so couldn't do that. Gabriel says, now compare with Fans Toys Pipe and the rest of Fans Toys. I do need to do a comparison for Ridiculous Badger, who donated. Let me see here. Oh, he said for Apache. I don't have Apache, though. Ridiculous Badger, sorry, I don't have Apache. You do know that. I know you're trolling me there. Oh, that's as far as I can go down. Hold on. That's as far as I can show. Sorry, I don't have Apache. Here he is with another tall combiner figure. This is Ocular Max's Hotspot, which is quite big. You all might be interested in seeing him next to another Fans Toys combiner limb. Here he is. Right there. They all come... the angle makes it kind of deceiving, but they all come out about just below the knee joint. And then MP44 comes to about the middle of his knee joint. Can you guys see that? All right. All right, what other questions? I also saw that somebody else donated, but give me a second to get through those questions. Does he have a butterfly joint? No, he does not. Oh, streak. I should have done. I can't really do streak alt mode comparison with his combined mode, but he's like down to his shin. 2, 3, 3.5 streaks all the way to the top of the head. I know you guys didn't see that at the top, but you can take my word for it. I would not lie to you about the streak unit of measure. Put him in action pose, please. All right. Let me see here. What can I do for an action pose? Let me get some of this out of the way. I need to crotch grab Gabriel here. Ugh. Action pose. I don't know what you mean by action pose. Again, he's not fun to pose in the least. He's probably the worst. That's probably one of the worst things about him, because he's just not fun to do that. He can make use of some of that ankle articulation and some of that toe articulation, but even with the heavy feet, it's really hard to get him stable unless you're an expert poser, which I am not. Let me get his. Oh, I don't know if you guys didn't see that, but give me a second. I gotta scooch this back up again. I tried to move his shoulder, and this whole joint popped up and out. So I'll try that again. So I was trying to move the shoulder up here, but you can see all this came apart. So that's one of the major complaints I had about him, was that you got to be very mindful and very controlled in how you pose him and get him near the joint itself, unless you want to have things pop off, which they did once again. This is about as action posy as he's going to get from me, because I'm just not very... Oh, no! Almost pushed him down into like a split pose. All right, that's about as good as the action pose that I can get him right now. Because, again, he is just not fun to pose in the slightest. He's just... Oh, he's just incredibly frustrating to pose. And since he's so heavy... since he's so heavy, it's like a workout every time I try to pose him. All right, sorry I couldn't do a better job than that. All right. Will the MMC do the aerial bots? I have no idea. Is very correctly scaled with MMC because jets are very big versus Bruticus? I guess that's true. How many streaks tall is he? We did 3.5. Can he hold the gun up? Yes. We can show that again. I can't even see the tab from where I am. Let's do this hand just because I can see a little bit better. But he can hold the gun up. Thought I could see the tab better here, but I'm lying and can barely see anything. Come on, I can't see the tab or the slot. There we go. He can hold the gun up without it drooping, like so. Yep. Those are all the questions. Let me look at the fan funding, because I do want to recognize the people that donated. So we got Ridiculous Batcher. Apache comparison, sorry. He said, roast you. Nah, I wouldn't do that. Rusty Mechanic says, because my man Paik is a beast. Didn't feel like it today. Princeton Failing says, now we want the reverse transformation. Please don't. Ridiculous Badger also says reverse transformation. Thang Nguyen says, for all the pain, thank you. And Professor Soundwave also says reverse transformation. You guys are real masochists, or I guess sadists, because you guys are trying to kill me. I've already been going on for over 2 hours in front of you guys, doing a terrible job of that. So I apologize for not being as prepared as I wanted, but hopefully it wasn't a complete waste of your all's time. Hopefully you guys don't struggle as much as I did. But if you guys follow the instructions and don't try to do everything very quickly to try to get a review out, you should be fine. There's nothing crazy about any of the alt modes. The combined mode pieces. The combiner parts are good. The shoulder joints and rail system is good. The knee joints are good. Really, everything is pretty solid in terms of the combiner ports. The only complaints I really have are the difficulty getting both of these side tabs in for both legs. And again, just the fact that he's such a bear to deal with and move, and all the floppy wing bits that whenever you move, they're just like floating around all over the place. But that's just my opinion. I do think he looks amazing. I think the proportions and just the overall look are amazing. For me, it's just not worth like the $1,200 overall. But if you're already invested in this and you love Superion, you love this scale, this could be for you. Again, it's everything you love about Fans Toys, just bigger. So if you want to pick this guy up, most retailers in the U.S. are getting this now or already shipping it out. Toy Dojo, obviously my sponsor, shipped this one out to me, and they've already shipped out some of theirs. They got a partial shipment, and more will be coming soon. So if you want to support me and my sponsor, go ahead and click the link in the description below to get them. Titan says, these 2 hours were more fun than most Marvel movies. Definitely not. And beats the Acolyte. Yeah, again, sorry for that. I'm almost scared to go back and read all the comments. Teammate says I would have given up. My patience isn't that long. It's funny that you would have given up on me, given up on yourself, but you didn't give up on me, T. I love you for that. 158 people in here, 16 likes. That's what Frankly Lawless says. I don't actually blame them, because that was pretty awful. I mean, I think I got through a lot of it okay, but a couple of figures here definitely struggled with, especially with Silverbolt. So, all right, that's been enough. I hope you guys enjoyed it one way or another, whether it was a figure or my pain and agony. That said, we're going to call it a day. I'm going to try to do more reviews again. I've been off the books for quite a while, but I do still really enjoy them and love seeing you guys in the chat room, whether it's to roast me or to support me. And some of my Discord members on my Discord server have been yelling at me for not doing a Chatter Day or Jeopardy in a long time. So I told them I would do that. So I will be back sooner rather than later. Thanks again all for all your support. Hope you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you next time.